Welcome back to Hardball. He's been the front runner now for months, and no one has been able to stop Trump. And with 24 hours before tomorrow night's second big debate, the Republican Party's establishment wing and neocons are growing panic. The Boston reported today that Mitt Romney's former team has united now across various campaigns with a single goal of stopping Trump. One advisor told the newspaper that it's a common goal for anyone invested in republicanism, conservatism, and anyone who gives a flying expletive about what we're trying to do here. In true neocon style, of course, Bill Kristol's threatening to blow up the party if Trump wins the nomination. He told CNN that, quote, "I doubt I'd support Trump. I think I'd support getting someone good on the ballot as a third-party candidate." So who would Kristol, neocon, like to see? This is classic. By the way, if he screws up the whole thing, he probably will end up having Hillary elected. Anyway, he wants former Vice President Dick Cheney, of all people, and freshman Senator and puppetoon Tom Cotton, all who work for Kristol, basically, certain Cotton does, would be an excellent independent team. So it looks like everybody's getting crazy. The roundtable tonight, Michelle Bernard is the president of the Bernard Center. John Stanton is BuzzFeed Washington bureau chief, and Sarah Lenty's a Republican strategist who has worked with Jeb Bush's campaign. We'll get to the sanity of Jeb Bush in a minute. I want to start with Michelle. You know, people who thought Trump was crazy, and he says crazy things, and so does Dr. Carson. But my God, Bill Kristol talking about bringing back Dick Cheney and that puppetoon of his, Tom Cotton, who does what he tells him to do, just like Marco Rubio does what Sheldon Adelson tells him to do. Of course they want puppets. The neocons, that's their favorite instrument, the puppet. Go ahead.
Listening to Bill Kristol's statement is absolutely astonishing because, remember, he is the establishment of the establishment in the Republican Party. And what have we been hearing for months and months and months? If you have a third-party candidate, you're going to be handing over the White House in 2016 to Hillary Clinton. So does Bill Kristol really believe that Dick Cheney or someone else, you know, can run as an independent third-party candidate in the event that Donald Trump becomes the Republican nominee? And is he truly willing to say that the Republican Party, as they know it, is over? And, you know, hail to the chief, and the next chief is Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know that I would say that anybody in the party that was really paying much attention to what Bill Kristol says anymore. I think his time probably passed 10 years ago. You know, and I definitely don't think anybody on the Republican side would ever say, you know what we should do is we should get Dick Cheney back. But, you know, I don't think anybody wants that. But I think, you know, if you look at what it means more broadly for the party and for sort of conservatives, is that I think even within conservative ranks, where there were a lot of folks that have looked at Trump and said, well, I may not really like him and I may not really be down with his positions. He's sort of ramping people up. He's bringing energy to this thing, so it's okay for now. Everybody is now starting to look at it within the party and say, well, this is not necessarily going away. We thought it was going to end in August or end of July, and he's not going anywhere. And I think that's starting to concern everybody.
Yeah, I think Bill's frustrated, like the majority of Americans, and he's looking at this and saying, no way. And to think that he thinks Cheney and Cotton are a serious ticket as an independent, I don't think is real. But at the end of the day, people out in the states aren't listening to what the Washington elite thinks. I mean, Trump is an example of that, and so is Bernie Sanders, quite frankly. The conventional wisdom on this is kind of out the window.
Well, what's going on with the establishment wing? Are they going nuts? I mean, what is Kristol talking about, bringing back that sock puppet of his and actually thinking we're not going to fall for the game those two have been playing, that Tom Cotton says what Kristol wants him to say, just like Dan Quayle did and Sarah Palin. I mean, the use of the neocons of idiots has been going on for a long time, hasn't it, Sarah?
I'm going to go back. I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question, Chris? Apologies.
Just the question of this masquerade that's been going on by the neocons. First of all, Dick Cheney, just to get the record straight one final time, I hope if you have to bring him up again, he's the guy that said to Saddam Iraq had a nuclear weapon. He said it even though the intelligence community had said no evidence of such a fact, and he presented as a fact, and basically for a lot of people, turned their heads toward that war, and he has the nerve to come back again. Kristol's part of that. He's a hawk on every front. Why would the Republican Party allow those voices to rise above the sort of quiet voices of Bush? Why isn't Bush being heard from? Why hasn't Bush got something to say?
I think you're going to hear Bush say something tomorrow night. I think you're going to hear him talk about his record in Florida, and then I think you're going to hear him talk about the importance of a real immigration reform plan. I think you're going to hear him talk about education reform, which is what made America great. And I think he's going to nail Trump on the economy, where Trump doesn't have a plan, and saying whatever is not is not the, having his whatever approach and throwing numbers out there is not going to get Trump over the line, where Bush has detailed a very specific economic plan, and I think we'll hear that.
John, when's the preseason over, John? Because I think you made a point a couple minutes ago that a lot of the people in the establishment Republican Party, the real Republican Party, say that, they thought it was just going to be preseason, pre-gaming, if you will, in a party line in terms of partying. And yet this seems to be the real game right now. Trump seems to be winning the real fight. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, well, I think that the establishment is starting to come to terms with the fact that this is not necessarily, at least right now, going to be an election like other normal elections where people sort of debate each other. They, go at each other over issues and do a little bit of sniping, but they do get into some details. This is very much a, sort of, like having a your mama joke kind of a contest with somebody in the schoolyard right now. And so they're looking, I think, around to find somebody that maybe they could throw money behind. Ben Carson is getting a look by establishment money people now in North Carolina from the party. Yeah. He could potentially be somebody they could try to get behind. They're looking for somebody other than Trump that can play this game of sort of get out there and have a schoolyard fight with somebody.
Okay, we'll be right back. The roundtable staying with us. Now, Hardball goes to high school. We're going to take a page from the candidates' yearbooks and predict who's most likely to do what they're going to do tomorrow night in that big second debate at the Reagan Library right near here. This is Hardball, the place for politics.